Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Ghost Bake SuperCoach here with our round 12 review. And just first of all, you can probably see we're in a bit of a different setup here. Had some technical issues with my power on Wednesday, so apologies that we weren't able to do the Hump Day Pump Up with SuperCoach Pro like we usually do. And just playing around with a bit of a different look at the moment, doing some things on the run. But yeah, we wanted to make sure that we get the video out while we're still trying to sort it out, because for once we actually had a decent week. As you can see, the thumbnail sort of explains what we're doing. We've started the long climb back, and we did set ourselves for our buy. We really did try to buy plan and see if this is where we could sort of catch some ground on the rest of the comp that was miles ahead of us from the start. So definitely looking back and seeing all the mistakes we made with our starting team and some of the trade-ins. Once again, some of our trade-ins this week weren't the greatest overall. I think we've got a bit of a trend of that lately. But yeah, we will obviously keep doing what we're doing, bring in blokes that we think are going to be good long-term plays, and obviously look at some value and whatnot as well. We can't afford all the big dogs, and we've already paid up for a fair few. But I'm going to go through our round review in a sec. But yeah, hopefully this is the start to the long climb back, and we've started well with the first week of the bye, so hopefully we can make some ground. But as you can see, an 1862, no idea what was good, what was bad. I could just sort of keep track of my players, and we're getting a few low tons, maybe like a 110 plus here and there. So that wasn't too bad. Talking about our trade video last week and the preview of what we were looking at, it didn't start well with we had Perez get a 30 sitting on the bench, which we just wanted him to make some money. We had the Flanders injury. We had Banfield score shit. And we had obviously Brody Grundy not named and rested, so it didn't look good. So given the fact that that's how we started, and we'll go through how we ended up, overall pretty happy. Can't complain too much. So 1862, a round rank of 7.5K, which is, I think, equaled sort of our best this year for the round. I think one of our better weeks as well. A few weeks ago, we were about 7K for that round as well. And a big jump of 12K in the rank. So from 53K to 41. Wish we had been able to jump up another, 7 spots, 8 spots would have made it look a little bit better. But look, I'm not going to complain given how horrendous our season has gone so far. So we'll definitely take this as a massive positive. So let's go through the team. So Jackie Sinclair, he started us off well on Thursday night against the Hawks. The Saints didn't do well, but he did. He had a few poor games, and then he's bounced back the last probably 2-3 weeks. He's done his usual stuff. He's probably still D1. He'll be fighting with our latest trade in, which we will talk about in a minute. But you can't complain. Super solid, 128, good way to start the round. Lockie Whitfield, didn't know if he was going to play, flew up to Alice Springs, got through training, went out there. I didn't get to see a lot of this game. I was out for pretty much all of Sunday. And he was touch and go, and then I checked the scores. I think up to halftime he wasn't doing that great, and then it came down to apparently a big last quarter from him. So look, a 90 is not exactly what we would have wanted. And what he usually delivers is a lot higher than that. But given how our team's gone and the fact that most of the comp has him, a 90 you definitely take when it looked like he might not have even played. So we'll take that. Archie Roberts, another sub-ton. This is just annoying. We got him pretty much when he hadn't sub-tonned. He gave us a 100 flat, then a 150 odd, and then since then it's been like 90, 80 something, and then a 97. He got tagged by Milan Murdoch, and it wasn't like a heavy tag, but just kept it, tried to keep him quiet and unable to do his usual piggy ways. He had still 30 odd plus touches. He does that every week. He took some good intercept marks. He runs hard. I love the kid. You can say, yeah, what you want about his damage, but like I said in the last video, he puts up numbers like Shees and Dacos, and yeah, he might not be that good. But at this age and what he's producing for his stats and what he could be, I'm very, very happy as a Dons man to have him in the side. Do I wish he turned up? Yes, but he didn't do too bad. I actually was pretty surprised. He just had a really poor second quarter. I think he only had like 3 touches. He had a lot of the kick-ins, especially without McGrath there. But yeah, he just couldn't get the job done, and I think didn't do a crazy amount when the game was on the line. So that's the only thing that held him back. But like I said, a 97 in the bye weeks, you're not, given through what we've got to go through still, you're not going to complain too much about that. And I think all these primos eventually, they drop like a sub-ton here and there with the way this season's gone. There's only a very few, and obviously Maxi Gorn's the only one still on the ton run. Lockie Ash, he finally did something different. We always say he's a 90 to a 110 person and a player, and he just finally, 119, he had the monopoly on the kick-ins. He just took them all back to the half-back role. Heaps of disposals. He's very similar to Roberts. It's that he gets the disposals. It's more the efficiency and the impact. And obviously Roberts has done a slightly better job this year, averaging about 6 points more, 5 points more. But Lockie Ash finally breaks the 90 to 110 barrier and gets a 119. So we're not going to complain about that. Super, super happy with him. Especially because most people own Whitfield, and Ash is sort of the one that no one sort of has. Like, he's pretty low ownership, I'm pretty sure. So we'll take that. Geordie Clark finally remember what a fucking ton looks like. 103. Not the greatest of tons. It's a ton, though. So we have to give him credit. Freo spanked Brisbane, and he started off pretty well. He was on about 22 to 25 or something like that quarter time, which is what you want. You want him on track early. When he starts shit, he sort of still has a good second half, but sometimes it's not enough to actually claw his way back to a decent score. So he gets the 103, and we'll take that and run because he hasn't done that for a long time. All right, we're gonna group this in one category because the rookies this round were absolute dog shit. This proves why you can't sideways and you need to get rookies off your field. This week sums it up. Lucky it's a best 18 round, but as cover, they didn't do their job. Like, the next few scores we're going to go through, which most of the comp have, but it's just utter crap. Lindsay at 59 against Essendon is pretty shit, and he's one of the better rookies that performed this week, so let that sink in for a little bit, because the rest of them are worse, fucking way worse. He couldn't get on the ground in the first quarter. He was off for the first 14, 15 minutes. When he come on, he did his usual. He took a few kick-ins. He was there for switches. And at the start, he just turned everything over. It took a while for him, and I was like, great. So he's had low tog, and he has hit some clangers. I think he was on 20 or something at halftime. So better in the third when they obviously did most of the damage, and then he was okay in the last. And, yeah, just scrounged his way up. Thought he could hopefully... I was thinking he'd get an 80 plus, and then once I saw him the way he started, I was like, oh, maybe he can get to a 70, 75. But yeah, 59, not even a 60. It doesn't look good. So I think we have to move on from him. As good as he's been, and he is playing, but we'll wait for teams and stuff like that before we make any decisions on if he is 100% gone. But he's in my trade plans at the moment. We'll start with Perez. Like I said, 30, that's crap. Gave away 3 free kicks or something in the first quarter, and then just got fuck all possessions. So he's not going to be able to claw his way back despite him being a laid in and Hawthorn giving him the opportunity. I don't think he took it. So they won. Will he stay in? I'm assuming Nash comes in, so he's probably the first one out, unless there was any sort of injuries, which I don't think there was. So 30, I thought, I'm glad I didn't put the E on him. Edwards would do better. He's been getting 50s to 60s every week. Fucking 19. what the fuck? Oh, I didn't watch all of this game. I watched him get like one intercept mark and kick. He was doing so shit. And don't get me wrong, I know Richmond weren't getting it down there, so it's very hard. But I also watched some contests, and he gave a couple frees away, and he got beaten by Fawcett a bit. And I was just like, oh god, you cannot be playing this bad against a lynchless Richmond when everyone else is smashing it. This has fucked his cash gen a bit, so he's going to have to pull something out of his ass. That's if he stays in the team, because I don't know if he's going to get dropped. No idea. McInerney rolled his ankle. He's fine. And then Malikan also went off. I don't think Malikan's hurt either. So, bit of a watch. But yeah, that was shit out. So hopefully those two blokes do not get dropped, because we need them to cover Whitfield and Ash just as on-field options. So that's one we have to have a look at too. We chucked the VC on the Bont, and you can see we put the C on Petrarca, who didn't play. So we took the 119. I just wanted something safe. It was either him or Gawn. I ended up making the right choice only by a point, but still, it was at like a 115. I was like, oh, I'm still probably just going to take it. I don't think Gawn will get much more than that. I thought a 130 maximum, and I just didn't want to risk it. So 119, I'm like, I'm just taking it, whatever. So yeah, happy with that. It was one of our better scores, if not the best, other than Sinclair. So yeah, we didn't have the Heaney 170 to take, so I was just like, this is close enough, I'm just going to take it. Because I just, didn't have the confidence 100% in Gawn getting up to the 150 range. Even though he was solo rucking, I just didn't think so. So glad we did that. Traded in Maxi Holmes. Who would have thought Carlton would do Geelong again? And he had 25 disposals, just couldn't. Baz just outdoing him again. 119 for Baz, and Holmes 91, which I thought he'd at least get a ton. Wasn't confident enough to put the VC on him. Obviously, went with Bont instead. But yeah, just not what we wanted from our trade in. Again, it's just the trade-ins we're bringing in just haven't done that great the last few weeks. You got Grundy a 90, McCluggage fucking 50s and 60s the last few weeks. Bringing Bailey in, he got us a fucking 60 odd or whatever, 50 as well. So, it just hasn't been good. So, 91 isn't the worst out of the trade-ins, but still not what we want. He'll bounce back. He's still an option to swing back into defence, or we can keep him in the mid, but he's a good player to have, and I'm sure he'll do better as the weeks go on, because he's done better all year, as you can see by his average. Nicky Dacos, 111. We thought he'd do all right against the Dogs, and he did pretty well. So, would we want it a bit more? Of course, but you can't really complain. He's averaging that 111, so hit that. Not much really more to say. It's Nick Dacos. His price is cheap as fuck. I can't believe how much we've spent on players and they've dropped. Like, I could tell you, like, nearly every player I've gotten has dropped like 50 to 150k in some cases. It's fucking wild. Finn Callahan finally went nuts. We didn't expect it to this level. I thought maybe another ton. Massive 144. He had like 30 odd disposals, 2 goals. Absolute starter. Just kept the run going. The Giants have done really well the last few weeks, and now he's brought his average over the 100, which is great to see. But yeah, what a game from him. Didn't factor him into our captaincy options or anything like that, so unlucky. But he was the one that did get closest to Heaney that we have. So unfortunate, but at least we got him, and he finally put up the scores that we want. We want these 120 pluses from him. He's done it once or twice for us, but now this was a good week to do it. More about Hugh McCluggage, I don't know. I really don't know what the fuck is wrong with him and Brisbane in general. He looked good up to halftime, and then 3 handballs after halftime. It's just, I've never seen him go missing like that he's not even getting fucking tagged. He's just not getting the ball. Drops so much money. Below 400k. This is a bloke that was like 660k or something like that last year, averaging 115, 116. Fucking Reshko is a rookie and averaging more. It's, I don't know. I don't know if I've got the trades to burn to get rid of him. I think we just got to hold him. I'll reassess at his buy, but fuck. we just got to keep getting the rookies off field and hope that this guy comes good because I'm scared he might get. What if he gets dropped? Fuck. Yeah, it's scary. Reshko, 100 last week, 40 this week. They got pumped, but still, it's not what you want to see. You'd expect like a 60 odd at least from him, which we did talk about that he is usually pretty safe for that. But yeah, not what we wanted. One of our low fucking scores for the rookies again. So, yep. Sammy Cumming, we looped with Ison. So I had the emergency on Ison because he played first. Saw the 42. He was Carlton's lowest scorer after he's been 270s in a row. So I was like, I'm just going to risk it with Cumming to see what he gets because I was like, he'd probably get a 30 or 40. I said either way, it's going to drop out. So I was like, I'll just let him roll. And Cumming got a bit more mid-time, even with Prestia back, even with like, your Tarantos, your Hoppers. He was pretty much the fourth banana if I'm not wrong. Ross still went through there too. So Prestia had a bit more bench time because it was his first game back from injury. But 64, he was looking better than that. He was on about 40 or something at halftime. But like I said, they got spanked. So what more can you ask for? A 64 from him's fine. His break-even's low. It goes back to like a 12. So he's one we'll probably hold for at least another week. Reshko will probably have to go just because we need to upgrade someone, and I've got my eye on a decent mid coming off his bye. So we'll work, have a look at what we can do with that. And like I said, it is very team dependent because we don't know what rookies are going to get named, who's going to get dropped. But yeah, he's one that we're looking at. But Cumming, we will probably keep with a break even of 12 or so. He's got a bit more cash to make, which is good because we want him to get close to making that 100k for us. Anderson, relying on him, he was one of the scores that actually counted. Kicked 2 goals, but just fuck all disposals. He had like 6 or 7 disposals or something. Finished with 9, I think. His average was 70 odd. He's had a couple of stinkers since then. So dropped last week, back in the team. He kicked 2 goals though. Is that enough to keep him in the mix? I don't think Collingwood have a lot of other options that they can throw around. So hopefully he stays in, especially till his bye. He's got 1 more week till that. So, but yeah, 44 is well below what we want. Lucky he kicked the goals. He would have got a fucking 20 again. So disappointing, but hopefully he stays in the team. He's still got a bit more money to make, hopefully. Zach Butters, he was on his bye, so sat on the pine. Like I said, Ison, lowest scorer for the Blues, 42. And Burton can't even get a gig in a team that is completely injured and averages 30, so he's pretty shit. And don't expect much more from him. Don't expect him to get recalled unless there's a bunch of Tiger injuries again, so he can sit there and rot. Brody Grundy, like I said, didn't play, so there's 670-something K worth spending, just sitting there doing nothing in a matchup that we wanted. Laddams did a really good job against no ruckman, so we've probably got dual ruck, so awesome. Could have just waited for, Sherry or Jackson since they're dropping in price, but we spent up for spike scores and got none, so we're fucked now. We've got to stay there now, so it doesn't matter. But he should be back this week, and he better fucking score. He's got to get at least a ton, otherwise I'm going to be pissed. Got the Saints at home, and they're most likely going to dual ruck because Saints have dual rucks with Marshall and TDK. So, yeah, not what we wanted. We sit and deal. That's all we can do. Gorney again keeps a ton run going. Was a good captaincy option. He's got the number 1 ruck role, all sewn up with Heath getting dropped. 118, he's just been solid. Safe captain score every week. And he's got the Pies this week, so it'll be very interesting to see how he goes. Got the King's birthday. And yeah, obviously Pies don't have many ruck options either, so I think we'll just have a classic one-on-one with, maybe a Van Rooyen and a McStay pinch hitting in there, or obviously Darcy Moore won't be pinch hitting in the ruck anytime soon. Zach Kostelski, useless, just sitting there. Petrarch had his bye, so captain looped him. Like I said, with Flanders, 39 and injured, season done, so we're going to move him on. It's just about, do we move him on, and flip some things, or do we just downgrade him to a rookie and then use the cash to bring in the players that we want? Because the forwards, a lot of the good ones still have the round 16 bye, which don't want, or there's pretty much just Took Miller, or JHF that have come off their buys, and I definitely prefer Took over JHF. So yeah, that'll be an interesting one to have a look at. But yeah, I'm more leaning towards using the cash elsewhere. Upgrade either, finish the back line or keep the mids coming in that we want. Because we should have a decent enough players to at least field 6 on field this week, because we get Petrarca and Sheasel back. Bailey's drops fucking 60k since we bought him already, but at least he delivered something decent. He actually was one that, for the Lions, that looked okay. He kicked 1 goal too, so if he kicked a bit straighter, could have been a 130 odd. 115. Hopefully he can continue this form. He's obviously got contracts and money that he's trying to command, so playing for that. So at least he's given us something now. We can't just... He's improved every week. It's, it was like a 70, a 60, and then he's gone 86 and now 115. So let's keep more of that coming and less of the shitty 50, 60 scores, because I've got enough of them. Philippou, he's been solid. Like, for a rookie, he's been getting 80s. Looked really good again. He was on like 40 or something at halftime, and then drops again to... He sort of has these quarters where he just gets nothing, and then he sort of tapers out to that 70, 80 range, minimum of a 60. But against Hawthorn in a loss, you'll take a 71. I think we just keep him going until his break even will be about 60 odd. So he'll get around that. If I don't see him dropping like a 30 or a 40 anytime soon. His tog's fine now. So I think we just keep him until his buys. He's just good cover, and especially this week with given the shit that we had with certain players, I'll take a 70 from a rookie player anyway. Steen, obviously permanent loop, didn't play, but just chucked him on because I had Sheasel and Petrarca on the bench for the buys originally. Banfield 36, bring him in. Him and Ison, had Ison the week before, but yeah, not what we wanted. Banfield needs to keep playing well, otherwise he's going to be the first one out of that fucking team. So yeah, I'm pretty nervous to see if he plays this week now. But yeah, we'll wait for team sheets for that. Sheasel had his bye. We'll be back this week. That's a handy one to get back. Both our F1 and F2s are back. And chucked Murdoch on as the emergency so we could use the Petrarca loop. And yeah, like I said, tagged Roberts, but still managed to snag three goals. He was part of the Eagles when they got up and running, kicked the first goal, and then got their run going in the third quarter. And so scaling was very generous to him, and he another 100. So he's gotten heaps of 90s. I think it's 6 out of 9 games that Milan Murdoch's gotten. So he's dropped a stinker here and there, but averaging 82. He was 99k. Break even's low, and so he's made us like 240k. So be interesting to see if he can keep pushing and get close to that 300k mark. But yeah, you keep him. He might even be an F6 at the moment, depending on trades, because we're gonna run out soon if we keep going. But yeah, solid on-field option, and I think in the role he's doing, he'll be sweet. So we'll see what he does this week. But yeah, he's safe. And then our last trade this week, we brought in DCAM just for the value. It does lock our flex in. We can't really do anything there now. But for the value, he was 412k, 410k. Number 1 ruck roll. There's no one really to steal it. And he ended up getting the flat ton, 22 touches. He got jumped all over by English. Would have been interesting to see if it was just him and Lob, what he would have scored. But we'll take 100. At least that's a decent trade in, better than a Holmes 90, because you trading both in, you would have expected Holmes to outscore DCAM at a price tag that's about 120k more. But yeah, happy with that. So we'll see how he goes. Like I said, he's got Big Maxi Gorn this week, so be an interesting watch for King's birthday. At least I know every ruck contest I should get some points. But there you go, guys. That is our round review. Like I said, very happy. Starting the climb. We just want to keep that going. Jump 12k. Let's see if we can get inside the 30k next week. Just little things. Even if we're just going up a few k a week, I just want to make sure that by the end of the buys, we've really at least halved our rank. Would be great, and getting into the 20s would probably be the best goal that we could set for ourselves. Is let's just keep getting green arrows, regardless of how big they are. We're not expecting a 12k rise every week, but at least the team sort of paid us back with that. So like I said, this week we will have Whitfield, Ash, and Callahan out, and a couple of the Richmond rookies. Not too fussed with that. We can move on one of those, probably Reshko, and we'll see what else we can do. So should be able to field a decent team, and we'll have a look at who we're bringing in. So stay tuned for our trade video later in the week. Going to keep playing around with the setup and everything, but the intent is to still keep our hump day pump up with SuperCoach Pro. So we'll look forward to that. And yeah, we'll see how we go. But other than that, thank you guys so much for all your support. Like I said, if you haven't given us a sub, give us a like for the video. But if you haven't subbed, please sub. We're trying to get to 100 subs by the end of the year. We're at 59, so 40 something to go. Just even if you're not that into it, if you flick past, just give us a sub, just so we can try and achieve some goals and keep us going. It's obviously good to jump on when you're having a good week like this week. Overall, it hasn't been a great season, but we're staying positive and we're going to front up every week. Whether we do shit next week, we're still going to be here. So thank you guys for all the support. Keep dropping your comments. Love having chats. I've had a chat with some really good people of the community, and really enjoying you guys and being able to chat SuperCoach. We know it sort of dies off towards the end of the year when trades are getting thin, but we're going to go through for the whole year. We're going to push through and, collab and enjoy as much as we can, because it is a game at the end of the day and we just need to have some fun with it, and you guys make it fun. So give us a like, give us a sub, follow us on X if you haven't already, ghost_bakes, and yeah, as always, it's Ghost Bakes SuperCoach. So thank you guys so much. Hope you enjoyed the little setup that we've got today, and we'll see how things go. We're going to keep playing around with things, but yeah, you guys, I hope you smashed your week. And yeah, we'll get prepared for a big round 13. And the buys continue. So let's see how we go, guys. But thank you so much, and we will chat soon. See you guys in the next video. Catch you guys.